back at home base here. I just want to go through some of the items we picked up from an auction that Old 64 Goat had mentioned in his YouTube post. And again, I want to thank Old 64 Goat and Bill down there for these items. What we went down mainly for was the 21FJP22 over there, which sadly it does not have a filament. I hope it hasn't gone to air, which it seems. I'm going to play a little more with the socket on top. I have a 17-inch channel master rebuild, a 17BJP4 for a test tube. I also have a chassis from a RCA. This is a 8T241 chassis, and it used a 10BP4. But most importantly, it's the channel bezel for our other RCA that I had been looking for because mine's cracked. Okay, back at home base, we got the items inside just before it started to rain out, so we got them in a nick of time. This is the 1953 or 54 VM record player, one of the two that was shown in the videos at the auction of Old 64 Goat. I want to thank them again for such a nice time. This does have legs. I just have it on a pedestal at the moment, but I do have the metal cross legs there that this sits on. It has a I don't know what it has for an amplifier. This lights up, and that's the reject. That's like a remote reject switch for the 1200 series changer. It looks like there's a spare needle taped to the arm. And we have the screws for the legs there. That's one of the items we took home with us. Again, this is our chassis from this is the 8T241 chassis, and I may set this up as others have said, just as a breadboard type chassis to just display a picture on to show people what TVs actually were made of and how they ran back in the early years. And we'll go on to the third one here. You saw this in his video, Old 64 Goats. This is a RCA 21-inch black and white with I don't have the model number because the chassis is missing, but it has the KCS95 chassis in it. Okay, and you saw this, perhaps if you watched any of the auction videos, you saw this. We will, there seems to be just one tube missing. That's the 3CB6, I believe, and the rest of it looks pretty well intact. He went ahead and mentioned a couple of diodes here across the silicone, a couple of silicone diodes across the selenium rectifiers, and these filter caps were changed at one time. This was, like he said, this was a family heirloom. This was in his family for some years, and the tube, he said, is down. And the tube on this is the 21ALP4A, it says. Has an ion trap. I'm not sure of the focus. It looks like it has magnetic focus on there. But this is, and similar to what I do, is he has the SAMs in the plastic. So there you have that there. We're going to fire this up in a future video and give it a run just to see how it does. We will test the CRT just to see how it responds. We'll also test this 17-inch channel master tube that we have. This is as I said, it's a 17. I don't know what degree it is, but it's a 17BJP4. Okay, but the real item that we want to check out here is the 21FJ, and it is a rebuilt tube because it says notice about the materials used in this factory rebuilt tube were carefully inspected. This is probably where the number of the tube was. I'm not certain, but again, we have no filament on this poor tube here, and it does have cataracts. I won't get you down to the safety glass there, but the BPA or whatever is got air in between it. So I'm going to try to remove this socket here, and because it's loose, and maybe one of the wires, I don't know, broke or it's gone to air. I can't get a continuity reading on it. I'm going to show you again with the flute meter here. We'll just put it on continuity real quick, touch the couple of pins here and just verify for you folks that I can't get a filament. I can't get a reading out of it. Let's try this one-handed. It's not the easiest. So let's touch our leads, okay, and go pin 1 and pin 14 here. See, I have no... Let me get some focus. We'll touch our leads together for continuity here. Okay, and when I go across pin 1 and 14, I don't get any continuity. So I'm hoping maybe the wire is broken in there. I'll try. I think I remember doing this as a teenager. I'm going to try to loosen this socket, lift this off, and take a look to see if in fact the filament is out in this 21FJ. Because we have the Admiral, you may have seen in an earlier video, that is necked, and this would be great even if it was weak to be able to play a picture on the Admiral we shot in an earlier video. Okay, I just want to show you the progress here. I've gone around each one of these pins and I've heated them. I've used the solder sucker. I do have wick, but I've used the solder sucker to suck most of the solder out. So I'm going to mark the tube with, well, maybe where the index is. I'm going to attempt to make sure that all these copper leads are free, and I'm going to attempt to lift this socket off of here and get a meter reading under the socket. Okay, now most of these I can move the leads. It's no guarantee that they're not being held on the bottom, but this is similar to an IC socket. You have to have every one released. So I keep working at it, going around and around, and gingerly trying to pull this off without breaking anything. Okay, I kept working it, heating and tapping and gingerly, and voila, we have it off. And I don't see much of my mark from pins 1 and 14 here. There's a little piece of green left right there. So I don't know what this business here is all about. Ooh, what a smell. Odd smell. Now, I'm not worried about where the filament is. We can look in the glass and see, but we have no broken wires. Let's see why we don't have any filament here. Well, unfortunately, I've checked and checked and checked again, and here are 2 filament wires right here and right here, and I have no continuity between the two. No continuity. So we have, in this case, a dud. So here are our 2 filament wires right here, and I'll test them again, but just to show that we do have a dud. I've scraped the leads down. This tube has no continuity. No continuity. That's a shame. Why would they have kept a tube if it had gone to air? Well, that's that. That was a nice try. We're getting closer. We'll find one someday. We'll hook a battery to it and whack it. This must, I don't know if this is where they seal it. I don't know what this business over here is. This silicone type goo stuff. Is that where they evacuated it? Doesn't appear to be. It just is a spot of goo. Just as a safe measure? I don't know. Well, that'll be it for the 21FJP22 non-broken tube, but no darn filament. Okay, what's also kind of odd in our little quest here for CRTs the other day is this 17, this is a Channel Master 17 BJP4, and I don't know why that stuck in my mind, but this is it, and we'll put it on the tester in a minute. I want to show you what this tube fits. I was going to use it as a test tube, but I'll show you what it fits. A few weeks back I featured this set that we picked up, and I have the SAMs on it, and I just happened to notice that the CRT is a 17 BJP4. I was about to test the CRT on this model here, but which we can still do. We won't do it in this video, but I'll at least go out and check the one that we picked up with the goodies. It's a 17 BJP4 on the Setchell-Carlson. So that was one good thing about the file. Again, back one last thing on the goodies from yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and test the 17 DAP4. I mean 17 BJP4. Yes. I gotta say, I did do a pretty good job mending that on the fly yesterday. I've gone ahead and added a little strain relief tie wrap here through the rivet so that lead there doesn't have so much strain on it. Anyway, we're going to go in and test the 17 BJP4. It has a lot of listings, but we'll start with the 17 BJP4. I have my tester all set up. G2 at 300. It says 20 to, I think, 70 on the G1. Heater is set at 5.8. We're on black and white. We're going to go for the heater adjust. I like to bring these up really slow at first. The tube is lighting. I'll bring it up to about 5 volts here, just see how it does. Again, I chose this tube because I felt it was it's a rebuild, and although it looks like it's been in a set, maybe it's okay. Okay, we'll increase the heater to 6.3. No shorts. See if we can set cutoff here. Oh, that's emission. Excuse us here. Let's see if we go back to 300. It said 300. I'm just going to leave it on 300. It doesn't say to set cutoff. I can set cutoff there, but it says to put the G2 at 300. And this, well, was 27. Okay, let's go for emission here. That tube tests good. I'm at, like I said, 125. The book says to put it up at 300, which would be way up here. So 17 BJP4. .3 regular socket, G1 300, 22 to 72 on the G1. 22 to 72 on the G1. We'll go back to cutoff. Oh, I see where we set cutoff here. Okay, so we set cutoff with the G1. There. Our cutoff sets at about 40.5. 300 on the G2. That's cutoff. Now we'll go back to emission. So the Channel Master is a very good tube. Let's go down to 5 volts. Or let's try the life test here. Well, let's go down to 5 volts first. Bring the heater down to 5 volts. We'll switch over to emissions. it's going down, but that tube is... That will be a good tube for the Setchell-Carlson if it needs it. So although our 21FJ over there hasn't made it, we do have a good 17-inch for the Setchell-Carlson. Okay, while we have the tester out, why don't we go ahead and give the 21-inch RCA KCS 95 here a test. The owner said the tube was down, so we'll check this. This is the 21ALP4. ALP4. This one relatively easy. 21ALP4. Tells us over here. ALP4 is 6.3 regular, 300, basically the same as the other two, 22 to 72 for cutoff. So we'll go with our heater adjust. Now we're down around 5 volts. It's okay. I believe the tube is lit. The tube is lit. And we'll let it sit there. We'll go up a little bit. This is another series string set. This is transformerless. Shorts no. We'll go over to cutoff. Let's see, I can't set cutoff here. I can't set cutoff, and that emission when I went by didn't look so hot. In fact, I have no emission. Well, we'll let it sit here and let it cook a minute. Oh boy, I'm like nothing on the meter. I think there's just not even a hint. I can't do anything with this one. Go up a little bit on the heater there. We'll go up to about 7 volts. A little over 7 volts. I'm telling you, I know I heard it was low, but this is actually no emission. I don't even see a hint. Crank it up a little, almost 8 volts here. I don't see any action. I don't see any action on that. And this socket is good still. We've got that heater up. That filament. Okay. I'm unable to set cutoff. And I'm telling you, I don't see a hint of emission on this. Well, there you have it. If things change, we'll update you. But that's it for the KCS 95 chassis with the 21ALP4. Does not test well at all. Not even a hint on that needle. Well, there you have it. So that's the. I'll move the socket while I watch the meter, but I have no emissions there. So more on that later. Thanks for watching.